Hello, everyone, and welcome to our podcast. This is JB.
And I'm Chandler, and this is the Unbiased Hard Take. On today's Unbiased Hard Take, topic 1, Paul George left yesterday's loss with a leg injury. Where do you think this leaves the Clippers moving forward this season?
Well, as of right now, the Clippers are 6-11 without Paul George. So, being statistically, they will probably lose. They have 9 games left of the regular season. So, they will probably
Correct, yeah.
lose half of those games without Paul George.
Right, and I mean, the West is kind of wide open, but with those injuries and Kawhi just not being a reliable player at this stage of his career, he's just not. I mean, he's played, looking at this season, 44 games. In 2020, 52 games, 2019, 57, 2018, 60, 2017, 9. Last time he was over 70 games played was 2016. It's 2023 now. So this is a new thing for Kawhi. At this stage of his career, he's just not reliable. Clippers will probably get bounced round 1, or even really maybe get jumped to play in.
Yeah, because I think the Golden State Warriors are actually going to go to number 5 spot, and they're
Oh
probably
yeah.
going to stay at the number 6.
Well, Steph's back.
Yeah.
That's going to help Golden State automatically, and they're a postseason team at this point anyway.
Oh, yeah. I mean, even though
And really,
the records shows that they're 37-36, but they're gonna probably win like 6 or 7 of those games that they have left, and they're gonna jump
the
up.
Clippers play the Thunder a few more times, and there's only a couple games difference between those two teams. If the Thunder win those games, they could jump the Clippers for the playoff spot, and the Clippers would have to play the play-in.
Mm-hmm.
The Mavericks have a chance. They have the talent with Kyrie and Luka. They have the talent to be able to jump the Clippers, but will they? I mean, I'm not a fan of Kyrie Irving. That's just me personally, but I don't think he's a top point guard in the league. But that's a different topic for a different day. But I think they could even really, like I said, jump the Clippers. Even second lowest play-in spot, 8 seed, not even the 7 seed.
So you think Dallas is gonna win the majority of their games, the rest of their games?
No, I don't. But I think it's a possibility because they have the talent to be able to. So I think it's a possibility. I'm still going to say the Clippers will stay in that 7 seed.
Okay.
I would not be surprised to see the Mavericks jump them because of their ability if they can mesh, and Kyrie and Luka can stop getting on that dang injury report, man.
Yeah.
But the Clippers are just a snake-bitten franchise.
Yeah, they
They're
always
really,
when it comes close to the postseason, they're always injured.
yes, they
It's either
blew
that or
that
something
lead in the
goes on.
playoffs. Yes, it's always something with them. Bad luck somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Couldn't win with Lob City. They choked in the playoffs a few years back with Kawhi. And always something with the Clippers.
Yep.
And they're going to go to this new stadium bannerless, and they've had the teams and ability to win championships. Had Chris Paul, Blake Griffin in their primes, DeAndre Jordan in his prime. Couldn't win it with them. Had Kawhi a couple years now. Can't win it with him. Excuse me. It's ridiculous. I just don't understand it. Had Juju going around there. It's like a cursed franchise.
Oh, it is. It looked so good during the regular season, and then, like we said, when they starts coming to the postseason, they will. Some always happens.
That's why I'm really excited for the West. It's open. Wide open. I think the Kings, I'm excited for the Kings. I like those teams that just. The Kings haven't been good since 06. They have the longest playoff drought right now since 06. That's a long time. Almost 2 decades.
2 decades, yeah.
But that De'Aaron Fox, he's the future of that team.
That's
An all-star. The last time the Sacramento Kings had an all-star.
right.
Good to see. I hope they come out of the West.
Yeah, probably the second most best thing that came out of Sacramento or for the Kings when DeMarcus Cousins was playing, and that's when he was
Right.
in his prime.
And the Kings still sucked then. They didn't make the playoffs one time.
Nope. Now they have a
Playing
young. Now they have a young team. Now in the third seed.
right,
They're
exactly.
they're looking good right now.
Yes, they are, and they almost relocated a few years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Seattle deserves a team, and I think the Kings should have moved up to Seattle. The Supersonics leave them to crime. But
Oh yeah.
that's all the time we have for that topic today. Topic 2 is with only 4 top 2 seeds left in the NCAA tournament, March Madness. Who do you think wins the national title with it kind of being wide open right now with all these upsets?
Right now at this point, looks like Alabama. Or
Think they'll end up coming off?
oh, I do believe so. If Texas keeps up their wins and even Houston, they've been looking really good so far. I'm looking at their past few games and had a blowout against Auburn and only won by a few against North Kentucky. But I mean, right now Houston and Alabama and Texas is hot right now.
I think it'll be Michigan State. Tom Izzo's been to a lot of Sweet 16s, and his teams seem to go on runs.
Right.
He's a proven, probably the best coach in college basketball, in my opinion. I think in college basketball, coaching matters more than in the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
You can have a dumbass take you to the NBA Finals,
Right.
depending on if your players are good enough. But college, like a lot of these games are in the 60s. The score's in the 60s. NBA games are that at halftime sometimes.
Yeah.
It's more team-oriented defensive basketball.
And play
And
quick.
I think so I think coaching matters more in college basketball than it does in the association.
Mm-hmm.
If you look at the association, a lot of these players don't really play college basketball. They're foreign guys. Or like Kobe, he didn't play college basketball. LeBron came from out of high school. He didn't
Mm-hmm.
play college basketball. All these players didn't play college basketball. They came from overseas and were drafted elsewhere.
Right.
Kristaps Porzingis even. Players like that are overseas products, and that's why I think Michigan State will end up winning the whole thing. I think they're on another run with Tom Izzo, and he's the most proven coach.
True. But yeah, looking at that, last game they played against Marquette, they only won by 9, but that's a really good defense. And Marquette,
Right.
they were playing amazing during the regular season before March Madness, but
And they've
looking
kind
bad
of
in the
dealt with
past.
they've been bad brother. They've kind of went through a lot of adversity this season.
Mm-hmm.
They really have with their injuries with Jaden Atkins and Malik Hall and that Joey Hauser dealt with injuries, and I think teams that are able to overcome those type of injuries and adversities end up being better for it later on in the season and postseason runs.
Yeah.
I think that's why Purdue seems to fail. Because they don't really overcome a lot of adversity. They are always good in the regular season.
Oh yeah, always.
I don't. That's I've talked about that topic before in the other video from earlier. Fire Matt Painter.
Exactly, fire him.
There is no reason we should not be in the Sweet 16 right now. College basketball is wide open this year. Princeton's still in it. Princeton,
Mm-hmm.
for Christ's sake, you're telling me Purdue can't be in it, but Princeton is. Matt Painter is just great coach, and yes, he has been very successful. He has won the Big Ten tournament, and that's great. It really is. I'm happy. It's a big deal.
He's a
I
regular
want
season
a
coach.
national title. I want a national title. I'm tired of Big Ten championships. No one remembers that in 10 years.
No one.
Nobody. Remember national championships. People don't remember who won the Big Ten. Who won the Big Ten in 2008? Can you tell me?
Nope. Who cares?
Tell me who won the Big Ten 2 years ago. No,
Nope.
no one
Don't even know.
cares.
Exactly.
People care about college basketball in February and March. Who wins that time?
Exactly.
Who wins in December? Who cares? Playing Indiana State.
The only thing that matters is the national championship.
Yes, and that's why with Tom Izzo being a proven coach, I think they're going to end up in the NCAA tournament being wide open like it is. To
Mm-hmm.
be the best coach in college basketball.
Yeah. But yeah, it's.
Why do you think Houston? Or you said Alabama, right?
I said either Houston or Alabama because I'm looking at their past few games. Alabama
Right.
for anybody else has only won by like a few points here and there, like 6, 5. No, Alabama. They're when they played Texas A&M. They won 96-75. And they played Maryland 73-51. And Houston
They're
when
blowing teams out.
they're blowing teams out like left and right. When Houston played North Kentucky, they went 63-52 when they played Auburn and ranked 9. And now they blown them out 81-64. So I mean
I'm so
it's
tired. Alabama's already dominates college football. I might as well do it in basketball too.
I mean it's been a while since they actually Alabama's been in this far for a while, I think.
Basketball, absolutely.
Oh
They're
yeah,
not
because
known for being a good basketball program.
I mean this I don't think this is the first time in a while since they've been number 1 in their division or in
Right,
the South.
right. And they're not normally ranked this high. They're a one seed in the tournament for a reason, and they probably should win it all. But this season, I just have a feeling, just a gut feeling, that it's going to be Michigan State. Common sense, I agree with you, says Alabama. This is my gut feeling, man.
Yeah. I mean Michigan State they're I think they are a defensive team when it comes to crunch time. I
They
do
are,
give them that. But when it comes to offensive stuff, that's where they're lacking. I mean,
but
they
I believe defense wins championships. I'm an old
exactly.
school philosophy.
Oh, so do I.
These like you have Colin Cowherd talking, oh, offense and quarterbacks win championships, and oh, NBA basketball is better than college basketball because it's better, higher offense. But the Super Bowl with the Rams and Patriots was like 13 to 10 or something along those lines, wasn't it?
I think so.
I don't remember the exact score off the top of my head, but it was a ridiculously low scoring game. Defense still wins championships in pro sports, in college sports.
Yeah.
That's that, like you just said, them being a defensive team. That's why I like their odds.
Yeah. I mean, even I just now looked at UConn. UConn looks amazing too because they blown out St. Mary's and whoever they played their the first round. Iowa, Iona, whatever.
It
Some
was
ranked
something along those
13.
lines, yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Some at a
Yeah. That's who they played. Yeah, that's correct.
yeah,
And they
87 to
have a good track
63.
record of winning too.
Yeah. But I
Kemba
mean,
Walker, they won that national title.
yeah. But yeah, they've blown them out too. So I mean, like you said, it's a wide open
That's
for
what makes it fun.
a lot of upsets.
Yes, absolutely. That's all the time we have for that topic today. Topic 3 is the Miami Heat are half a game out of the 6th seed and final playoff spot. Well, guaranteed playoff spot, I should say. Do you think Miami will secure that last guaranteed playoff spot, or will they have to play in the play-in to guarantee themselves in the playoffs?
I mean, by the way, we've been playing. We've been win a few, lose a few, win a few, lose a few. Some
All
of
year
them
long.
all year long. But I mean, when we played again in the bubble, I mean that's when we were hot. I mean, even though I do believe that should not be a thing. And good thing for the Lakers. They won NBA Finals with LeBron, but I do believe that I still think that's not a real championship.
I think it's kind of like an asterisk, kind of like a Mickey Mouse ring.
Yeah, sort of like that. But yeah,
See, I don't, because it was the same playing field, all teams.
in a way, but
I don't really.
they were
I
locked
mean,
into a huge hotel room in Orlando.
right. I don't think that
So
affects how you play basketball. I mean, I think it's weird. It was definitely weird, and I'm glad it's over. I'm glad we can kind of put that behind us.
it was weird for a lot of other players because they're used to traveling, getting on the during the postseason, staying at the hotel for 4 days
Right,
or however long they stay,
right.
depending on the wins, and then going to the others. I mean, it was really weird for everyone.
It was, but I think they would have still made it to the finals had COVID never happened. I think that it would still been the same, and the Lakers would have beat the Heat in the championship. I don't think it had a really big difference, and I really don't think it had a big difference in the outcome of the season bubble. I think it'd have been the same either way.
Yeah, we should have beat them though, but I mean that's just me.
Yes, yes. But this season, we just don't seem as locked in as we did then, or even last year. Last year, we were a game from the finals with really the same team now, minus PJ Tucker. That really could be the difference. I don't know.
Eh, PJ Tucker was just a mediocre player to me.
He did the
He
small things well.
he did the small things, but other than that, he was really nothing. I think just last year we just had we had no one like be in the same zone as Jimmy Butler was. I mean, he was scoring all of our points, and when he was double teamed, who else could he depend on? No one, because no one shot
Right.
over 50%. Someone, our main score, one of our second highest scorer at the time was Tyler Hero.
Right,
The
and Tyler
whole
Hero's not having really a great season this year after his big contract extension he got. He had a great year last year, Sixth Man of the Year, got that money, and he's kind of underperformed this year.
I think it was well, I mean, he was also injured and all that stuff, but I mean, he
It
was
has some injuries as
during
well.
during the whole entire season. I think he's really good at regular season, but he's not dependable. Yeah,
No,
he'll give you the 20 points that you want in that game, but the next game that you want him to have 20 points, no, he'll only score 2 or 6.
he's not a number one option. And Jimmy Butler's getting a little older. He's starting to kind of get into this resting for personal reasons and load management. Bam is great,
Yep.
but a number one option. We don't really have an offensive presence. We are an awesome defensive team. We are really we're a horrible offensive team, and that's why I think we went and got Kevin Love, kind of kick the tires on what's left of him,
Right.
because we know we're not an offensive team. But I do think we will secure the 6th seed. I think Eric Spoelstra is the best coach in the Eastern Conference.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Two-time champion, been in the finals multiple times, has coached his way to many Eastern Conference champions. Like I said, the bubble in the finals with that roster. I mean, I do think we will end up getting that 6th seed because Brooklyn ended up trading pretty much all of their players away.
Yeah.
And mind you, it's only half a game back. We played them again. That's going to be a big game.
Oh yeah, because we play them, and I just had their schedule up.
Very soon. We play is it the Knicks tonight? I believe we play the Knicks tonight.
Yep, we play the Knicks tonight, and then it's the Brooklyn Nets.
It is. See it. And then it's Brooklyn. And with half a game back, I mean, we could jump them. Now, tonight's a big game, too, against the Knicks. Big game tonight here in, about 30 minutes. Pretty close to 30 minutes. That game will start.
Yeah, the New York and the Brooklyn, and I do believe the Toronto is the must-win games.
Yeah, so those are really big games. And really, our schedule's not that hard coming up. I mean, you have the Knicks, which are having really weirdly good season. That's the only, like I said, the big game. Raptors, and they're at mediocre.
Philly is
Knicks
the
again,
is the hard one, but they're probably
yeah,
gonna rest all their rest of their star players for the playoffs,
yes.
or they're
And we
not gonna have
play
a lot of time.
the Pistons again. We play the Wizards again. We play the Magic again. Are some of our last games, so our last stretch is going to be pretty easy. These Brooklyn, New York games coming up, Toronto, these are must-win games.
Mhm.
Otherwise, we're going to be in that play-in.
Exactly.
And we're a championship team, dang it. We were a game from the finals last year, a quarter from the finals last year, and now we're fighting for the playoff spot. I think we will get in and we will make a run because playoff Jimmy is a legitimate thing. I don't care if we have to play in the play-in. We'll win the play-in game. We will win the play-in game.
Oh yeah.
Miami is clutch and prepared, well coached, and then we'll get that 7 or 8 seed. And I think we'll make some upsets. I don't really read a lot into seeding
Hmm.
as much as I used to, with the league being more balanced now. You don't really have the Warriors dominating the league anymore.
Because right now they're what 36 and yeah they're
Miami,
37-36. Oh no, Miami's 39 for 34. Golden State is
right?
37-36 right now.
Right. The East is actually the better conference now. If you look at it,
Hmm.
who's the best team in the league? Milwaukee. Who's the second best team in the
Milwaukee,
league? Probably Boston.
Boston, and then
Who would you say the
Denver.
third team best? And then I would say actually the third best team in the league is probably Philadelphia.
True. I'll give you that one.
I think Miami is more proven than some of these other teams. We just haven't played up to our normal standards of this year. We're more proven than Denver is. More proven, really, than this. About the same as the Suns. We've made the finals recently. A lot of these teams haven't.
Yep.
Might not be a really popular take, but I think Miami still may come out of the East this season. I would not be surprised.
It's going to be
I
tough if
think
we have to play against either the if we will have to face Milwaukee or Boston because Boston is hot this year
yes, and beaten Milwaukee before. We've also lost to Milwaukee before. I
multiple
think
times.
yes. I don't. I'm not sitting here ridiculous to say Miami is going to the finals. I don't think they will. I do not think they will. But being the 6th seed, if they were to get that, which I think will end up happening, I am going to predict that the Heat will get the 6th seed.
Hmm.
But if you look at that at this point, I think if those many games were left, I do think they'll get in, and then they will play. Who's the 3 seed right now? I think Cleveland, isn't it? I was looking at.
I see the third seed for in the Eastern Conference
Huh?
is
Really?
Philadelphia.
We beat them last year, but whooped their ass. I wouldn't be surprised if we were able to beat them and then even get past that first round. Like I said, make some upsets. I do think that the Milwaukee Bucks will end up. Yeah, Giannis is the best player in the league.
Oh yeah.
But Chris Middleton getting some health back, and they're getting their health back, so I think Milwaukee is the team to beat. I do think Miami's going to get that 6th seed, then maybe making a round 1 upset. I would not be surprised if that happened.
Yeah, that would not surprise me at all.
Right. That's all we have for that topic today. Topic 4, one that's making me slightly nervous at the point now is why hasn't the Aaron Rodgers deal not happened yet?
Well, that's a good question for you. Why hasn't the Aaron Rodgers and that trade hasn't came through yet?
Oh, it's going to happen. Mark Murphy was joking about it the other day. He actually said the word Jets. I think Green Bay wants a first-round draft pick, and the Jets don't want to give it up.
I just don't see the reason
I
why.
think Green Bay is digging their heels in. I think it's because Rodgers, how long is he going to play? 1 more year, maybe?
One or possibly two.
Right. He said himself he went to the darkness retreat this year, 90% retired.
Yeah, that was his mindset this
How
season.
long? How long do you have him?
Exactly.
I think that's what the Jets are kind of using. You have to remember, Aaron Rodgers has said, I want to play for the Jets. Jets fans have celebrated. If they don't get Aaron Rodgers, can you imagine what the New York media will do to the Jets front office?
Oh, they'll probably riot.
Exactly. And the Packers don't have to trade him immediately. They could hold on to him until the summertime and not have to pay a single salary penalty.
Good.
But you also have to look at it this way. As the draft approaches, this is what I think will happen. This is right here. It'll get done before the draft. Because, yeah, the Packers and Jets, I think, are playing a game of chicken.
Like you
Really,
said
who
last
caves
episode.
first?
Hmm.
Right. Green Bay, do you want to wait till the summer? Here's why. The draft's in April. The draft will pass. And then you will not get any draft compensation for Aaron Rodgers this season. Help your new quarterback coming in needs to prove himself. He will not be able to get him any additional help on the offensive or defensive side of the ball with draft compensation if you don't do this before the draft. It'll get done before the draft. I think Green Bay's dug that heel in saying we want a first round pick.
Right. But yeah, and then they will also. I mean, who knows at this point? Because they were Green Bay also wanted weapons too, and when they just today they traded Elijah Moore to the Cleveland Browns for a third. Was it a third round pick of this year's
Yeah,
draft?
some
Was
draft
it?
compensation. Yes.
Yeah. So I mean, that's what the Packers wanted. They wanted a weapon, and the Jets just said, no, we'll get a third round pick."
And you might be exactly right. I don't know. Is there a rule in the NFL? I'm not very knowledgeable on this part. Is there a rule in the NFL stating you can't trade a player as soon as he gets traded? You can trade immediately, can't you?
I think
Yeah,
so.
people do that all the time. I think you can do that. Yeah, so that might be a thing, like you said.
Might be a
Green
three-way
Bay needs
trade.
something along those lines, maybe, because Green Bay needs a veteran receiver. I think you are exactly right. Green Bay might get a second round or a third round pick, and like you said, maybe an Elijah Moore.
Mm-hmm.
Because they need a veteran receiver. They have Christian Watson, who had a really good rookie year last year, especially that back end of the
Mm-hmm.
rookie year last year. Romeo Dobbs had some really good, promising games as well. But then, other than that, they just have Samari Toure is their oldest receiver at 24. That's a great. You have young, promising receivers. But dang it, you have to have some kind of veteran leadership in that room, right? Your
Mm-hmm.
young quarterback starting out, a young rookie quarterback, and you're going to roll with those guys being that young. You need a veteran receiver, something to help him.
Need a veteran playmaker, and Elijah has shown that he can be a playmaker. But yeah,
Yes,
the Packers do need a veteran receiver.
yes, and I think maybe they're asking for something like that. And of course, the Jets aren't going to trade Garrett Wilson,
No.
obviously. And of course, Alan Lazard just signed. Of course, that's probably going to be a second or third receiver for them. So yeah, maybe them getting Elijah Moore could be a trade asset for the Packers. Maybe I'd be happy with that and give us a second round pick.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a very reasonable trade, or a first round pick straight up.
Yeah, just for. I mean, you can get a lot of, like we said before. There's a lot of people in the draft that comes out in the late drafts and that shines. Like look at Brock
Right,
Purdy for example, the last person to be drafted, and look at him.
right,
They they went he went like almost perfect. Yeah, at the end of the season, and it sucked how he got hurt during the playoffs. But yeah,
right.
just
And
that's a great example right there.
it is, and the Niners had to pretty much play the NFC title game without a quarterback part of it because Brock Purdy could not throw the football.
Nope.
He ran the ball every single play because they just didn't have a quarterback.
Nope.
I think, of course, Green Bay is going to have to get a backup quarterback at some point as well. Now, of course, we say all this and we talk about they need to get Elijah Moore. But let me tell you what will probably happen as a Packers fan. they will probably get draft compensation back. A first round pick, or they'll cave and probably, I've seen, get a second and a third round pick. Then they will draft a receiver probably in the first or second round. I'll remind you, we haven't drafted a receiver in the first round since the early 2000s. Before Aaron Rodgers played for us. It was Javon Walker. I was old enough to remember that.
Who's he?
So they're right. Exactly. You remember Javon Walker?
Nope.
No.
Nope.
He had a
Maybe he
couple
is.
decent seasons with Green Bay. He was okay. He had a couple of decent seasons, but he was definitely underperformed. And they don't draft receivers in the first round. They'll probably draft a tight end. I think that George, I can't remember his name off the top of my head. He had a visit with Green Bay recently. A Georgia tight end. He's going to end up being drafted by Green Bay. That will fix their tight end problem. So then you can maybe get the second round pick from the Jets, like I said, and remember in 08 when Aaron Rodgers took over for Brett Favre, what they did with their second round pick?
I don't remember on top of my head. No.
They drafted a quarterback. His name was Brian Brom. Ring a bell?
No.
He doesn't ring a bell at all. Trading them football cards all them years as a kid.
Nope.
Number 11, he was a bust. For the Bills, started a couple of games, he sucked. He was a horrible bust. They drafted him in case Rodgers didn't work out. I think they may take a second round or a third round pick that they get from the Jets and turn that into a quarterback that they'll turn into their backup quarterback. I mean, Danny Etling, yeah, maybe they have enough faith in him to be quarterback 2. I don't. I watched him in the preseason. Quarterback 3. He's a third string quarterback. We need a more reliable second stringer. I think they may use a second round pick on that. And then draft and develop. That's what's going to happen. Because that's what they do. It's frustrating as hell. We do not sign free agents. We re-sign our people and draft and develop.
Mm-hmm.
When was the last time Green Bay made a massive trade? Can you really ever really remember it other than trading Brett Favre to the Jets? Really, sit and think about it. Truly, in our lifetime, sit and think. Has Green Bay ever traded for a massive player? Ever?
No.
No.
Never.
They draft and develop. Drafted Aaron Rodgers. Drafted Clay Matthews. Charles Woodson was an exception, but he looked like he was getting old with the Raiders. They signed him, turned his career around. E.J. Raji drafted him. Donald Driver drafted him. Jordy Nelson, Greg Jennings, all these players they drafted. Devontae Adams.
Right.
Back. Sorry, I had to have a moment. But Jermichael Finley, all these weapons, Aaron Jones, we draft our players. We just don't sign them. Well, that's what's probably going to happen, and it's frustrating. I want us to go get DeAndre Hopkins. Perfect fit. Great veteran receiver in a young locker room.
Or
they're not going to.
For your backup, I'm just being funny here. You can sign Cam Newton.
I actually think that's a smart football move. It's actually serious. What if Jordan Love goes out there and sucks? I don't think it happens. As a Packers fan, I pray it doesn't happen. I don't think it will. But let's, for the sake of argument, he sucks. You can at least throw Cam Newton out there and him not totally suck. You know what I mean?
Right.
He'd be respectable. Someone who knows at least what he's doing. Been to a Super Bowl. Won a league MVP. Has had success. Even, of course, yes, he's washed up now. Could he go out there in the case of a Jordan Love injury or Jordan Love sucking and play respectable? Yes. Will it happen? No. Because, like I said, what if Love goes out there and struggles one game? Oh, throw Cam Newton in there. Oh, that's what fans will fucking do because they're idiots. Because, oh, throw him in there. He went to a Super Bowl 20 years ago. He's still good. No, he's not. That's what'll happen because he's a big name. That's what happened to Mark Sanchez when they signed Tim Tebow. All publicity, nothing but a distraction. They're not going to do it because of that reason. But really, like you said, I think it makes sense. You make a point.
Right. But
do you think it makes sense?
I think it makes sense. But who knows where he's going to go at this point.
What do you think? Do you think Rodgers is worth a first round pick or no?
I think he is for
Think this trade will.
one more year. I mean, who knows? He might be the same way that he was last season as went to Green Bay. He might suck.
He didn't
And
really. I don't think he
I
really
mean, he
sucked last year.
at the beginning, closer to the end of the season, where their offense actually finally clicked. It was at the end of the season.
Yeah, but
From
you look at his numbers.
from the beginning to the mid of the season, he actually did horrible.
He did. He had some rough games. Yeah, he did. But look at his statistics. He had a relatively good season. Way more touchdowns than interceptions. Let me pull his stats up here. I don't have them off the top of my hand. Aaron Leapin' Rodgers. A bad man. Last year, he had 3,695 yards, 26 touchdowns, 12 picks, 91.1 QBR, 64% completion percentage. That's not bad.
I mean,
That's
it's
top
not bad.
15 in the league. It's just not up to Aaron Rodgers level.
Exactly. It's not close to Aaron Rodgers level, what we've seen throughout the years. Last
And
season was the worst season that Aaron Rodgers had as a Packer.
we traded
So,
him a year too late. We could have gotten 2 or 3 first-round picks last year for him. We didn't make the playoffs last year anyway. We were 8-9. We had a respectable, mediocre, average season. Missed the playoffs. We could have missed the playoffs with Jordan Love. We could have gotten 2 or 3 first-round picks and maybe a third or a fourth or a fifth added in there with it for Aaron Rodgers last year, coming off of his MVP season. Denver, I think, I've seen reports offered us 3 first-round picks. We traded him a year too late. Now we're paying the price for it.
yep, because the Packers thought that they were going to be a winning season. They're going to bring us back to one more year to the Super Bowl. Look what happened.
It didn't happen. I'm glad. I mean, they gave it one more hoorah. I'm glad because I have that closure now. I do. I thought they'd be a little better than they were last year, but I have that closure now that the Aaron Rodgers era is over, and I'm ready to move on to that Jordan Love era. I do think it's going to work out.
And I hope so too.
Green Bay is a historic franchise, and we're still going to own the Bears. Justin Fields is off-brand Jordan Love. Mark that word. Write that one down. That's all the time we have for that topic today. That's really all the time we have for the show today. Anything else you want to add on topics?
Nothing. We shout out to our one comment that we had on his last video. Hashtag fire
Yes.
Matt Painter.
Yes. Matt Painter needs to go.
Matt Painter needs to go. Like we said before in the last few episodes. Hit the subscribe button.
That's Matt Painter, choke artist.
Oh, I thought you were actually having a coughing problem. But
I'm a good actor, see?
so don't forget
television.
Hit the subscribe button.
I hit the subscribe button.
Keep an eye on the notifications. And
comment, we will interact.
Comment, we will interact, and if you ask us questions to see what questions you want to ask, we will answer it in our next episodes.
All we have for today's Unbiased Hard Take. Then see you.